Moonlight filtered through the canopy of ancient oaks as Ceres moved silently through the forest. Behind her, 3 figures in hooded black cloaks carried a stone sarcophagus, its surface carved with runes that pulsed with faint crimson light. The burden was immense, but the followers showed no signs of strength or inhuman strength, one of many gifts from their fallen master. Ceres paused, her acute senses detecting a change in the night air. Her eyes black as obsidian with red irises scanned the darkness. "They're close," she whispered to her companions. "Zeus's hounds have picked up our trail again." The tallest of the hooded figures spoke, his voice carrying the distinctive rasp of a partially transformed demon. "We cannot outrun them forever, High Priestess. The resurrection ritual requires time we may not have." "Then we make our stand here," Ceres decided, her slender hand touching the hilt of the curved dagger at her waist, a blade forged from the same metal as Seraphim's own weapons. "Prepare the circle. I will delay them." As her followers carefully lowered the sarcophagus and began clearing ground for the ritual, Ceres reflected on the path that had led her here. Once a simple temple acolyte, she had witnessed the awesome power of Seraphim firsthand when he massacred the priests who had used her and countless others as sacrifices to maintain their privilege. While others saw only a monster, she recognized a liberatora being of purpose and conviction who offered power to those brave enough to seize it. She had drunk his blood freely when offered, accepting the partial transformation that granted her strength beyond mortal limits. But unlike the mindless demons who formed the bulk of his army, Ceres retained her intellect, becoming his most trusted lieutenant. When Seraphim fell in the final battle against the gods, it was Ceres who recovered his remains while others fled. Now, after 3 years of searching ancient texts and gathering the necessary components, she was finally ready to bring her master back from the realm of the dead. A twig snapped in the darkness. "Show yourselves," Ceres called out, drawing her dagger. "Face me directly rather than skulking in shadows." 3 figures emerged from the tree line, their armor gleaming with a subtle blue light, the divine metal forged in Hephaestus's workshop specifically to combat demonkind. Their faceless helmets concealed all but glowing eyes, and each carried weapons that hummed with celestial energy. "The Argent Sentinels," Ceres spat. "Zeus sends his elite butchers." The central figure spoke, his voice resonating with unnatural harmony. "Ceres, High Priestess of the fallen Demon Lord, by decree of Olympus, your existence is forfeit. Surrender the remains of Seraphim, and your death will be painless." Ceres laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the forest. "You speak of mercy while serving a tyrant who sacrificed countless mortals in his war against the Titans? Who betrayed his own allies when they were no longer useful?" Her eyes flared brighter. "Seraphim showed me the truth of the gods. He will rise again, and this time, not even Olympus will stand." "So be it," the sentinel replied. They moved with blinding speed, but Ceres was ready. The demon blood flowing through her veins granted her reflexes beyond human capacity. She met the first sentinel's sword with her dagger, the metals shrieking as they connected. Dark energy pulsed from her blade, countering the celestial light. The second sentinel flanked her, thrusting a spear that grazed her side. Pain flared as the divine metal burned her transformed flesh, but she welcomed its pain with clarity, as Seraphim had taught her. She spun, her free hand extending as black talons erupted from her fingertips. The claws raked across the sentinel's armor, leaving deep furrows in the supposedly impenetrable material. "Impossible," the wounded sentinel gasped. "My master's blood grows stronger in me with each passing moon." Ceres snarled, pressing her advantage. Her form began to shift, skin hardening into scales along her arms, a crown of thorny protrusions emerging from her brow. "While your gods grow complacent in their victory," behind her, she could hear her followers chanting, the ancient language of demons rising into the night air. The ritual had begun. She needed to buy them time to complete it. The third sentinel circled behind her, releasing a chain that wrapped around her ankle. Divine energy surged through the metal, sending waves of agony up her leg. Ceres screamed but did not fall. Instead, she grabbed the chain and pulled, using the sentinel's own momentum to hurl him into a massive oak trunk with bone-crushing force. The first sentinel pressed his attack, his sword, a blur of celestial light. Ceres parried desperately, each impact sending shockwaves through her transformed body. She was powerful, but these were Zeus's elite warriors who had fought in the Titanomachy itself. A blade slipped past her guard, penetrating her shoulder. Divine fire spread from the wound, fighting the demon essence within her. Ceres staggered, falling to one knee. "It is finished," the sentinel declared, raising his weapon for a killing blow. Before it fell, the forest erupted with crimson light. The chanting behind her reached a crescendo, and a wave of dense, suffocating power rolled outward from the ritual circle. The sentinels froze in place, their divine weapons dimming as something older and darker suppressed their celestial energy. "No," the lead sentinel whispered. "It cannot be." Ceres smiled through bloodied lips. Too late. Rising unsteadily, she limped back toward the ritual circle. Her followers lay collapsed around the sarcophagus, their life force consumed by the powerful magic they had unleashed. The stone coffin itself had cracked open, dark mist spilling from within and gathering in the center of the circle, coalescing into a humanoid shape. "Master," Ceres breathed, falling to her knees in reverence. The mist solidified, forming the unmistakable figure of Seraphim's horned visage and powerful frame, exactly as she remembered. Yet something was different. His body seemed semi-transparent, unstable. The resurrection was incomplete. His glowing eyes focused on her. "Faithful Ceres," he said, his voice echoing as if coming from a great distance. "You have done well, but the ritual is flawed. I cannot fully return. Tell me what you need," she pleaded. "Anything. The seal between realms has been strengthened since my fall. Breaking it requires blood of the divine." Seraphim's partially materialized hand gestured toward the immobilized sentinels. "Their essence is not enough. I require the blood of a true demigod." Behind Ceres, the paralysis effect was weakening. The sentinels struggled against the invisible bonds, their armor beginning to glow brighter as they fought the suppression magic. "There are rumors," Ceres said quickly, "a shepherd in Thespios who commands lightning, and whispers from the east of a soldier merged with Titan essence." Seraphim's form wavered, the mist struggling to maintain cohesion. "Bring them to me." Zeus's bastard and the Titangent touched mortal. "With their blood, I can return fully and begin what I started, the true liberation of this world from divine tyranny." "I swear it will be done," Ceres vowed. "Take what remains of my power," Seraphim said, extending his misty hand toward her. "It will allow you to complete your transformation." As his essence flowed into her, Ceres screamed not in pain but ecstasy. Her body convulsed as the full power of demon blood rewrote her being. Horns erupted from her skull, her skin hardened into crimson scales, and wings tore through the flesh of her back, unfurling like leathery sails. The transformation complete, Ceres rose no longer merely the high priestess, but something new, a demon lord in her own right, connected to Seraphim by blood and devotion. "Go," Seraphim commanded as his form began to dissipate. "Find the demigod and the Titangent bearer. I will remain between realms, gathering strength. When you have what we need, summon me again." "And the sentinels?" Ceres asked, flexing her new form. Seraphim's fading visage showed the hint of a cruel smile. "Show Zeus what happens to those who stand against us." As Seraphim's essence retreated into the broken sarcophagus, the paralysis effect fully dissipated. The sentinels broke free, weapons raised, but they now faced not a half-transformed priestess, but a fully realized demon lord. "Your master failed to eliminate mine," Ceres said, her voice resonating with newfound power. "A mistake Olympus will not survive to repeat." She moved with devastating speed, talons and wings becoming instruments of slaughter. Divine armor that had withstood the demon armies now tore like parchment under her onslaught. Within moments, the forest clearing was silent again, save for the dripping of celestial ichor from Ceres' claws. Standing amid the carnage, she detected new scents on the window zone and lightning from the west, golden radiance from the east. The demigod and the Titangent touched, both still young in their power, unaware of their importance. Unfurling her wings fully, Ceres launched herself into the night sky. The hunt had begun, but she was no longer the prey. Far above on Mount Olympus, in a chamber of pure light accessible only to the highest gods, a pool of water rippled. The liquid, drawn from the river Styx itself, served as Zeus's window into the mortal realm since his physical form had been grievously wounded in the final battle against Seraphim. The lone figure attending the pool, a young goddess with silver hair and eyes of shifting color, gasped at what she witnessed. "Father," she whispered to the presence that filled the chamber without form. "Seraphim's essence stirs again, and there are others." The pool showed her flashes, a shepherd commanding lightning, a soldier glowing with Titan light, an oracle preparing her temple for visitors. A voice responded not in words, but in pure conceptual thought that only a divine mind could comprehend. The goddess nodded. I understand. I will gather the others who remain loyal. She paused. And mother? Should she be told? The silent response made her wince. As you command. As Nike, goddess of victory, departed to carry out Zeus's orders, the pool of Styx water showed one final image: Hera, queen of the gods, watching events unfold from her own sanctuary, a satisfied smile on her perfect face. The game of gods and titans had new players now. The board was set. To be continued?